Hello, hello. Thank you for coming back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time. My name is Jennifer and this is Jen the Bookworm. Today I am bringing you a video that I have now filmed twice. This will be my third time. I had filmed a bunch of videos all in one day. I think there's an airplane passing overhead. Sorry if you can hear that. But I did all these videos all in one day, and then they all were corrupted. So I have filmed this once before, but couldn't get it out to you. I tried filming it once before that, and then my battery on my phone went out halfway through. So this is maybe a cursed video. It may not be the video that anyone wants to see, or maybe it's the, booktube higher ups telling me not to do it. But I'm trying again, one more time, last time. So I wanted to bring to you a review of the Nora Roberts book that I read a while back now, called Northern Lights. I picked this book up because I really wanted to try out Nora Roberts. I'd never read her before, but I know she's a very popular author, and I wanted to know what she was all about. What about her was so great? So I decided to pick this up. This book is about a detective who comes from a big city. He's a big city detective, and he applies for and is accepted to become the chief of police in a tiny town called Lunacy, Alaska. He had never lived in Alaska before, and so wasn't quite cognizant of all the challenges that just living in Alaska would bring. But he, like I said, was a detective in a big city, and he had lost his partner in a shooting. He just didn't want to do it anymore. He wanted a smaller town where where the biggest problems were going to be drunk and disorderly, or little things. So he wanted to change of pace. And he definitely got that going to this place. When he comes to the town, it's everything that he had hoped it would be, in that it's a small town and small town feel, but it also comes with some challenges, in that the people who live there and who had been living there for a long time view him as an outsider, didn't want an outsider coming to become their chief of police, and so he's met with some hostility, some questioning people who aren't sure that he is going to be good for them, and some people who give him a hard time because things are much different in Alaska than it is in the lower 48. So the character's name is Nate, and Nate comes in, and he is just trying to fit in this community, and a long missing persons case suddenly becomes a murder case, and he has to try to sort through a person who used to live there a long time ago, an old case, something that no one thought it was murder to begin with, and sort through, because it looks like somebody from Lunacy is responsible for this murder. And suddenly he has to be suspicious, and they're suspicious, and nobody wants to face facts about the mystery. I really enjoyed this book. I was really picking it up because I thought Nora Roberts was more of a romance writer, and there is a romance in this book, but it is far more of a murder mystery with some romance thrown in than it is a romance with a little bit of a mystery thrown in. And I was fine with that. I liked it. So that was really one of the pros to the book, is that it was, while the romance was there and it was an important part of the story, it wasn't the most important part of the story. And I kind of appreciated that. I really enjoyed the tone of the book and the pacing of the book. I enjoyed that the main character was a male character. Usually romance books don't have male leads, or if they do, it's a dual POV kind of situation where you get in the head of her and him, and mostly you were in the POV of of him. There was a little bit of straying off to a couple of the side characters' POV, but it was mostly him. I loved that it was very atmospheric. I loved that it actually made me curious to see Alaska. Maybe not in the wintertime, but maybe in the summertime when things start thawing a little bit. It made me interested to see Alaska, and maybe that's something that I'll do one day. I don't really have a bucket list, but maybe that's something that I'll do one day, and it'll be in part because of this book. I really enjoyed the way that the atmosphere was described. And I've lived in small towns before, and she really nailed down the small town feel, the cliquishness, the suspicion. Small town people are suspicious sometimes of people who come from bigger places, whether there's a murder mystery going on in the background or not. So I really feel, I just really enjoyed the pacing, I enjoyed the tone, I enjoyed the atmosphere. One of the cons of the book was actually the romance. I enjoyed the romance fine. And I liked, like I said, that it wasn't the most important part of the story. But the romance was a little too straightforward. It wasn't instant love. So I wasn't annoyed by it in that way. But it was close. I mean, she was the only girl he looked at that he had second thoughts about. And, there were other people to be in a relationship with, but he saw this girl and it was all about this girl. And I felt like he got her a little too easy. Like maybe there wasn't enough tension in the relationship. There wasn't any will they, won't they. It was just, yeah, they will. And it wasn't instant, but it didn't have as much tension. I don't know, maybe this wasn't really a romance book to begin with. Maybe I went into it with romance expectations, and there was a romance, but it certainly wasn't the focus of the story, and maybe that's why the romance wasn't as highlighted. Maybe that's why there wasn't as much tension between the characters. It wasn't a book about whether these people will be together, I liked that, but then I was actually looking for a romance, so that's kind of a con, but not a real big one. I would give the book a 4-star rating, and I would give the narration a 4-star rating. I think the narrator did a really good job of bringing it to life. The narrator of the book was Gary Littman, and I thought he did a great job of the characters. You could always tell which character was talking, even though it wasn't always they weren't always identified by name. His female characters weren't very cliched. I really appreciated the mayor. She had she was described as having a foghorn laugh, and he had a really kind of, I've smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day voice for this person, and she has so much character, and he did a really good job with that. And the other female voices in there, they were all very distinct, and the male voices were all distinct. So I thought he did a great job, so I'd give it a 4. So that's my review of Northern Lights by Nora Roberts. Overall, I really did enjoy the experience. If you've read this book, leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know, what did you think about it? Is there a better Nora Roberts book that represents more romance that you think I should check out? If so, leave that as a comment. If Nora Roberts is more of a mystery writer with some romance thrown in, let me know. That way I will know what to expect the next time I pick something up from her. But I do think I will pick something up from her again in the future. So I am excited to find an author that I like. I just need to know, direction. What should I read next of Nora Roberts? What do you recommend if you've ever read her? So that's what I have for you today, and I appreciate you coming back to see this review, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day.